Liv Morgan makes lovely declare approximately courting with WWE famous person. Liv Morgan has constantly thrived with inside the spotlight. However, her profession took on a brand new size while her on-screen courting with Dominik have become certainly considered one among WWE's most talked approximately storylines. The pairing of the former women's champion with the current intercontinental champion wasn't something fanatics noticed coming, yet has become one of the corporation's most powerful narrative arcs. For extra than a 12 months now, Morgan and Mysterio have been portrayed as a pair inside the WWE universe, seamlessly mixing romance, rivalry, and championship ambitions, a charming package deal that has kept audiences glued to their screens. The connection among Liv and Dominic Speedy have become one of these rare storylines that transcended the usual obstacles of expert wrestling. While WWE is understood for crafting dramatic relationships for entertainment, this one struck a middle with visitors because of the herbal chemistry the superstars share. Whether status facet through facet with inside the ring or assisting each different in behind-the-scenes segments, they radiate a form of electricity that fanatics can't get sufficient of. Their pairing has now no longer handiest extended each in their careers, however additionally injected new lifestyles into the Judgment Day faction, with their romance serving as a storyline spine that unites feuds, alliances, and betrayals in sudden ways. But regardless of their A-hit run as WWE's maximum compelling couple, Liv Morgan's journey hit a sudden hurdle in June 2025. During an episode of Monday Night Raw on June 16th, Morgan stepped into the ring in opposition to Kairi Sane in what became intended to be a fashionable singles suit. Early in the bout, a mistime motion led to disaster. She tripped, fell awkwardly, and landed difficult on her arm. Within seconds, it became clean something become wrong. The suit got here to a halt as clinical group of workers rushed in to evaluate the damage. Reports later showed that Morgan had suffered a dislocated shoulder and damage severe sufficient to sideline her for weeks. For a performer whose momentum were steadily building, the setback couldn't have come at a worse time. Morgan were driving excessive together, along with her alliance with Dominik and her an increasing number of central position in the Judgment Day. The damage left an evident hollow with inside the group's dynamic, and WWE moved Speedy to fill it. Rising famous person Roxanne Perez becomes slotted into Morgan's position, giving her a risk to polish along Mysterio and the opposite individuals of the faction. Perez's addition, whilst temporary, sparked a flurry of hypotheses among fanatics. In wrestling, wherein storylines regularly replicate or blur into reality, it failed to take lengthy for rumors to swirl that Morgan's absence should signal something extra permanent. Whispers began circulating that Perez wasn't simply changing Morgan the ring, however might additionally be inching into her on-screen courting with Dominik. Could WWE be putting in place a brand new romantic storyline? Could Morgan be written out of the group entirely? These had been the questions fanatics debated ad infinitum on social media with inside the weeks following her damage. However, Liv Morgan herself speedy positioned the rumors to rest. Despite her bodily setback, she become now no longer approximately to permit everybody write her out of the tale she had labored so difficult to build. With boldness and confidence, Morgan issued an announcement making it clean that her courting with Dominik, at the least in WWE search engine's narrative universe, remained as sturdy as ever. Her phrases carried the form of authority that handiest a person with unwavering self. Notion should muster. She refused to permit hypothesis decrease her status, and she or he reaffirmed her vicinity now no longer simply as Dominik's partner, however as an irreplaceable discern in WWE search engine's ongoing drama. In fact, her reaction appeared to fortify the bond among her and Mysterio, with inside the eyes of the fanatics. Their courting has constantly been a mix of theatricality and authenticity, and Morgan's refusal to permit rumors chip away at it handiest deepen the air of mystery of loyalty and dedication that surrounds them. For a corporation that flourishes on fan engagement, the impact become perfect. Fans who've been unsure approximately her future with the Judgment D. Combinations, reflecting their appeal each outside and inside the squared circle. Lie, in no way need to pull away from playful clapback, reacted to the post with a combination of humor and confidence. She regarded nearly amused that everybody would be amazed through their popularity and she declared them the freshest and maximum influential couple in WWE records. Well, we're the freshest, maximum iconic, maximum influential, finest couple in the records of WWE. What did you expect? She tweeted, a line that immediately went viral a few of the fan base. The message wasn't only a boast. It was an announcement of identity, a manner of telling the sector that she and Dominik weren't simply a part of storyline, however, a cultural second in WWE search engines' lengthy records of dynamic partnerships. The declaration cemented them as the usual bearers of present-day wrestling romance. Equal parts fiery and playful, theatrical yet grounded in air of secrecy that feels real. What makes Liv and Dominik's dynamic work so properly as a stability they strike among their personas and their united front. Dominik, once overshadowed through his father, Rey Mysterio's mythical career, has forged his very own route through embracing his function as a divisive, occasionally sneering villain. His flip to the darker aspect gave him the freedom to discover new dimensions of his character, and pairing him with Liv delivered any other layer of complexity. Liv, on the opposite hand, has constantly had a precise capacity to hook up with fanatics as a lively underdog who fights with grit and passion. Together, they complement every different in methods that experience each natural and entertaining. Even in Morgan's absence, the electricity in their storyline has carried on. Dominik has saved her presence alive via subtle references and the occasional acknowledgement in their bond, reminding fanatics that she stays valuable to his character. And now, as Morgan works via her recovery, anticipation builds to the instant while she steps, returned into the ring. For her supporters, the wait is full of exhilaration because they realize that each go back in wrestling incorporates a potential for a dramatic twist. Will she come returned seeking revenge for folks who doubted her? Will she and Dominik boost their power couple repute with an excellent bigger storyline? The opportunities are endless, and that uncertainty is a part of what makes expert wrestling so addictive. More than anything, Liv Morgan's tale is certainly considered one among resilience. Injuries are a part of the wrestling world. However, how a performer handles a fallout is what defines her legacy. Morgan's desire to satisfy rumors head-on and to enhance her function as a part of WWE's maximum charming couple suggests her capacity to show demanding situations into opportunities. In doing so, she has now no longer handiest covered her position, however has extended it, reminding the sector why she stays one of the company's brightest stars. For WWE fanatics, the bond among Liv Morgan and Dominik has emerged as greater than only a tail line. It's an emblem of what present-day wrestling may be while performance, personality, and chemistry align. It's entertaining, it is dramatic, and above all, it is memorable. In doing so, she has now no longer handiest covered her position, however has extended it, reminding the sector why she stays one of the company's brightest stars. For WWE fanatics, the bond among Liv Morgan and Dominik has emerged as greater than only a storyline.